Ahsoka Episodes 1 and 2 have arrived, and in this video I'm going to break down Easter eggs, expanded universe connections, give my analysis and review, and speculate about unanswered questions and what's to come. Starting off with Episode 1, here's a brief recap with all the Easter eggs and expanded universe connections that I found. Baylan and Shin liberate Morgan Elsbeth, who was captured by Ahsoka in The Mandalorian Season 2. During her imprisonment, she revealed to Ahsoka the location of a star map, which we later learn is an ancient Dathomir witch temple on Arcana. And that's where we find Ahsoka next. She finds the map and is ambushed by several HK assassin droids. HK droids first appeared in the game Knights of the Old Republic. HK-47 was an insane assassin droid who is one of the companion characters in the game. After Ahsoka escapes the droids' self-destruct bombs, we find her on a ship that looks very similar to the design and style of a Republic-era Jedi ship. Along with her is Huyang, a droid that has been with the Jedi for thousands of years and has been essential in helping younglings construct their lightsabers. Ahsoka is contacted by General Hera Syndulla, and Ahsoka rendezvous with her aboard Home 1, which is Admiral Akbar's ship. In fact, this could very well be Akbar on the bridge. Hera briefs Ahsoka in the same room where Mon Mothma gave the rebel leadership a briefing on the attack on the second Death Star. Hera shows Ahsoka the two unknown figures who liberated Elsbeth, but shows holoscans of their appearances and lightsaber hilts. Hera suggests to Ahsoka to go to Sabine to ask for help to figure out how to unlock the map. Back on Lothal, Sabine skips out on a ceremony celebrating the anniversary of the Liberation of Lothal shown in Star Wars Rebels, and this ceremony is led by Mr. Krabs. Ryder Azadi, who is played by Clancy Brown, who is not only the voice of Mr. Krabs, but also voices Ryder Azadi in Star Wars Rebels, and has played several other Star Wars characters, including Montross from the game Bounty Hunter, Savage Opress from Star Wars The Clone Wars, Berg in The Mandalorian, and most recently the unidentified Inquisitor in Tales of the Jedi. In the ceremony, we see Jai Kell, also from Star Wars Rebels, who is now the senator for Lothal. In celebration of Ezra's sacrifice and the victory achieved by the Ghost Crew, a memorial is commemorated in their honor. This mural also shows Ezra's Jedi Master Kanan Jarrus and Garazeb Aurelios, who appeared in The Mandalorian Season 3. As Sabine's running off, she's pursued by two E-Wings, which were first introduced in the Dark Empire comics, and became a staple of the New Republic and Galactic Alliance military in the expanded universe. Sabine returns to her new home, which was Ezra's former home, and she has a pet Lothcat. It would seem the message Ezra left for the crew of the Ghost wasn't the only message he left with Chopper. Ezra left a message just for Sabine as well. Baylan, Shin, Elsbeth, and this new Inquisitor character named Mardok explore the ruins of the Dathomir Temple. It's here we learn that Elsbeth was a witch of Dathomir and that she was a survivor of the Night Sister Purge from the Clone Wars. This puts her in the same category as Merrin from the Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor games, who also survived the Purge. Sabine wakes up from a nightmare about Ezra and runs outside to see Ahsoka's ship. This shot mirrors the one shown in the epilogue of Star Wars Rebels, however her hair definitely looks different here. Sabine reunites with Ahsoka, who asks for her help in opening the map. Throughout episodes 1 and 2, we get some vague understanding of some important backstory here. It would appear that at some point after the Battle of Lothal, Ahsoka reappeared to Sabine and took her on as a Jedi apprentice. Both of them were stubborn, and Sabine's aptitude for the Force was almost non-existent. Their master and apprentice relationship fizzled out, and they went their separate ways. Sabine asks to take the map with her, to which Ahsoka says no. Sabine takes it anyways while Ahsoka's busy with Huyang, who tells her with confidence that one of the two lightsabers worn by Elsbeth's liberators belongs to a student he knew named Baylan Skoll. Sabine discovers how to open the map by lining up the sides like a Rubik's Cube in a pattern similar to that of the temple it was found in. Shortly after, Shin finds Sabine after tracking her in a shot that lines up very closely to Maul tracking Queen Amidala in The Phantom Menace. Shin and her HK droids then attack Sabine. Sabine holds her own, showing that she's still a competent Mandalorian fighter, even with a lightsaber. She actually got training with the Darksaber by Kanan Jarrus in Star Wars Rebels, and I imagine in her training with Ahsoka, she also refined her lightsaber's fighting skills. We can see here, and Huyang later confirms that she has made some modifications to Ezra's second lightsaber, his first one being destroyed by Darth Vader at the Sith Temple on Malachor. But as Sabine later says, she hasn't been keeping up with her lightsaber practice, and Shin defeats her with a lightsaber stab to the lungs and makes off with the now open star map. Ahsoka arrives just in time to save Sabine and prevent her from dying. Now you may ask, how come Sabine lived when others like Qui-Gon have been stabbed by lightsabers and died? Well, Shin, still being an apprentice herself as noted by this Padawan braid we can see later on in the episode, has poor aim it seems. By the looks of it, the stab only damaged skin and bone and a single lung. Even without high-tech Star Wars medicine, people in the real world have faced similar injuries and lived, and Sabine had the added benefit of the wound being cauterized and a quick back-to treatment. That ends episode 1. My review of the episode is mixed. I'd say overall I enjoyed it. The music is definitely a standout, and the mood and tone of the whole episode felt very authentic. The mystery and story that is being set set up here is one that I'm invested in and can see myself enjoying. There were still a few things that I felt were missing, but might show up later in this season. I want to see more of Ahsoka's backstory here. At the end of Rebels, we see her descend under the Sith Temple on Malachor, and then pop back up 9 or 10 years later, and in all that time she's taken Sabine as an apprentice that didn't work out, and the next time we see her chronologically, she's on Corvus going after Morgan Elsbeth. There's a lot of missing information here, and I hope to learn more about it in the future. I also felt that the timeline isn't clearly established here. For instance, Ryder says that the anniversary of the Battle of Lothal was several years ago. Not 9, not 10, just vague. I felt that was a missed opportunity to put a definite number on things. Additionally, something that bothers me is how they've messed up the Dathomir lore here. In the expanded universe, a dark Jedi named Alia founded the witches around 600 years before the Battle of Yavin, after falling to the dark side and being exiled on Dathomir, where she taught the native women how to use the dark side of the Force. Later in life, Alia repented of her ways and wrote the Book of Law, which was loosely based on the Jedi Code. After her death, the witches had an on-again, off-again relationship with the dark side of the Force. Those who used the dark side of the Force called themselves Night Sisters and were generally seen to be exiles among the witches. Most of the witches of Dathomir did not use the dark side of the Force and used the Book of Law. Ahsoka says that the temple on Arcana, where she found the map, is a stronghold used by the witches of Dathomir and is thousands of years old, which doesn't really line up with the timeline here. I know that the EU backstory for Dathomir isn't part of the Disney canon, but it's small things like these where they recklessly change the lore and disrespect the expanded universe when they could easily tell the same story that they're wanting to tell without having to make such epic mistakes like this. Hypothetically, you could have the headcanon that the witches of Dathomir existed long before Alia came, but sometime in the centuries before her appearance their society collapsed. And then when Alia came to Dathomir, not only did she bring instruction on the power of the Force, but revitalized an ancient culture. That's a backstory I could honestly be okay with if Disney took the time to get it in writing. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Star Wars Fan Animations makes fan films of expanded universe books, comics, and games. If you want to see the progress we've made on our fan films, take a look at our update videos, motion comics, trailers, and soon to be released films. We are currently about to start releasing scenes for our fan film adaptation of Shadows of the Empire. If you want to support the project, we have a Patreon, and you can join our Discord for more personalized and community-based updates and conversations. I won't speculate too much on what's next for the Ahsoka series because episode 2 is already out, so if you want to watch my breakdown and review, you can find it right here.